Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, Supreme Court rules a motorist must provide evidence to TAJ that they are due refund from billions in traffic fines unlawfully imposed by state. Jamaican motorists who were compelled for 15 years to pay traffic fines that were unlawfully imposed by the government will have to provide a proof of payment to get a court-ordered refund, the Supreme Court has ruled. Acceptable forms of proof are in the traffic tickets issued to the motorist, along with a receipt confirming that the fine was paid, or alternately, a receipt that shows the offense and a confirmed payment. A panel of 3 full court judges stipulated in their decision handed down on Monday. The documents, along with the motorist banking information, are to be submitted to a tax office, and refunded payments are to be made after they are verified by Tax Administration Jamaica, the court ordered. Notices to be approved by the court alerting the public to the refund are to be placed in 3 local newspapers. The entrances to tax offices island-wide, as well as at the TAJ and the Attorney General's websites. Gavin Goff, one of the attorneys for the motorist whose lawsuit uncovered the unlawful fines, said he was disappointed that the court did not agree with their submission that TAJ's website www.trafficticketlookup.com is prima facie proof that a traffic ticket was paid, particularly as the court had earlier refused our application for the state to disclose its records of traffic fines received, Goff said. The motorist, software engineer Maurice Hosen, was named by the court as the representative claimant for the class of drivers and vehicle owners who are eligible for the refund. Approximately 4.77 million traffic tickets with total fines of $5.7 billion were issued by the police in all but 1 year between January 2006 and November 2021, when the unlawful fines were enforced, the news reported in July last year, citing a review of the Economic and the Social Survey of Jamaica. Full court judges Dale Palmer, Coral Barnaby, and Tara Carr acknowledged that the acceptable forms of proof stipulated in their order will cause some persons to be excluded from the refund. For example, where it is possible to locate the documents for submission, they said, alluding to tickets and receipts that were issued years ago. While sympathetic to the plight of persons who find themselves in the position of not having a receipt showing the relevant nexus between offense and the payment, or both the fixed penalty notice traffic ticket and the corresponding receipt, the best proof that someone falls with the class of motorist to be refunded appears to be the fixed penalty notice traffic ticket and the corresponding receipt evidencing payment, they said. Further, the judges said the requirements avoid conflicting claims and the disbursements for each ticket that is eligible for a refund. Responding to the suggestion that TAJ's website be used as a prima facie proof that the fines were paid, the judges said it appears they were being invited to take judicial notice of the veracity of the information which is said to be accessible thereon, and warranties given for relying on such information. This conclusion is arrived at with no evidence having been led in the proceedings in this regard. In addition, they noted that relying on the TAJ data could trigger questions about who is to be regarded as the proper beneficiary of the refund in a context where the driver and the owner of the vehicle at the time the ticket was issued were not one and the same person. An example which comes to mind is where the owner of the motor vehicle, who has engaged a driver to operate it as a taxi, pays the traffic ticket issued to his errant driver. If the owner pays the fixed penalty and retains the receipt, what is to prevent the driver from accessing information and a printout from a website using his driver's license number and the TRN to receive a refund of monies he did not pay, they explained. The refund was ordered by the Constitutional Court in January at the end of the lawsuit filed by Hosen challenging a $5,000 ticket he was issued by police in July 2021 for a speeding violation. The $5,000 fine was 6 times more than the $800 stipulated for a speeding violation in the 1938 Road Traffic Act, the legislation that was in effect at the time. The 1938 Road Traffic Act has since been replaced by new legislation. Broke dad turns to crime. Man steals $300,000 to support a baby. A corporate-era man hung his head in shame after he confessed to stealing $300,000 from his former employer to support his newborn son. "It was stress with my family, Your Honor. I have a young baby and it's my first child," the 52-year-old Winston Hamilton explained. The middle-aged man was spotted on closed-circuit footage gaining access to his former employer's office and removing $255,000 from one of the desk drawers on the night of July 20. It was shared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Wednesday that Hamilton had walked off the job earlier that week and returned to the office that night using his key to open the offices. Hamilton, who was employed as a driver and warehouse assistant, pleaded guilty to one count of office break-in and larceny before Senior Parish Judge Sanchia Burrell. He has no legal representation. The defendant, who indicated to the senior jurist that he was previously convicted for robbery with aggravation, indicated that he will be making restitution to the complainant. Burrell adjourned the matter until January 30, 2025 to facilitate a social inquiry report. Hamilton was also made the subject of a fingerprint order. Woman held with a fake job letter at U.S. Embassy. Senior Parish Judge Sanchia Burrell chided the actions of a 26-year-old woman who attempted to obtain a United States visa by submitting false documents. "What you did was foolish. What you did was dishonest. And I wouldn't trust you as far as I could throw you. I wouldn't be surprised if you come back here because your factory setting is dishonest," the senior judge charged. Her comments were aimed at Lorian Roberts, an esthetician. It was reported that Roberts tendered a fake job letter in support of her visa application, and when checked, it was verified that she was never employed to the government agency that she claimed. "It was our first time, and she went straight to wrongdoing. There's a level of default dishonesty in this country. That is something we need to deal with. I have too many lazy young people here, and when I say lazy, I mean too lazy to think," Burrell said. Attorney at law Damian Heslop begged the senior jurist to exercise leniency with his client, who pleaded guilty to forgery, uttering forged documents, and attempting to obtain by forged documents. The prosecution withdrew one count of conspiracy to defraud. "The punishment has to match the crime. I am sorry," the senior judge said. Roberts was fined $50,000 or 30 days imprisonment on each count and was made the subject of a fingerprint order. Bail extended for 2 St. Anne cops accused of corruption. A policewoman who was crowned the top cop for the parish of St. Anne last month had her bail extended on Tuesday when she appeared before the St. Anne Parish Court on corruption charges. District Constable Petrina MacDonald from the Brownstown Station appeared in court on charges of misconduct in a public office and breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act. Investigators alleged that between June 27 and July 4, 2020, Constable MacDonald solicited $100,000 from the mother of a man who was arrested and charged with wounding. She had allegedly promised the mother that she would release her son. But when she failed to deliver on her promise, the mother reported the matter to the police high command, which launched an investigation. Prosecutors alleged that the constable returned $20,000 to the mother. Following the probe, the policewoman was charged and taken before the court. The constable, who is being represented by attorney Oswest Senior Smith, pleaded not guilty to the charges. She is scheduled to return to court on November 19. Meanwhile, another cop accused of solicitation also appeared in the St. Anne Parish Court on Tuesday. Constable Hugh Smith of the Runaway Bay Police Station is charged with misconduct in a public office. He also had his bail extended. The cops were charged last week Tuesday following investigations conducted by the Inspectorate and the Professional Standards Oversight Bureau. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.